YouTube, y'all come with 15 most unbelievable traffic camera moments ever. Listen, y'all, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I came to the conclusion that most of y'all can't drive or y'all ego drive. And then I found out, this is why most of y'all can't drive. I found out recently, maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, that y'all be faking like your license. Like you could make fake, like you know how you make fake IDs, you could fake license. That is insane. And it made so much sense to me. I'm like, yo, that's why a lot of y'all be out here crashing the out. And like, some of y'all be having like 4 or 5 DUIs. I know people with 3. That's just insane. But let's go ahead and get into the video. Welcome new people, new subscribers. Let's get to the video.
North Carolina that shredded this box truck like a tin can.
Now you lost a job.
In Minnesota who was dragging over 100 feet of chain link fence. To a moped rider who didn't notice this giant sinkhole in the middle of the street.
Ow.
And a truck driver in Poland who thought he could beat an oncoming train. Here are the most unbelievable traffic camera moments caught on camera.
I describe my boy Underworld, man.
Brooklyn Park, Minnesota is a large city on the west bank of the Mississippi River. It's home to over 80,000 people, including one truck thief who got caught towing a little more than he bargained for. A 911 call came in around 9:55 a.m. on November 9th of 2021. The caller said someone had just stolen their construction trailer. The suspect allegedly hitched it to the back of a blue Ford F-250 and took off. Officers found the stolen trailer and the truck in a parking lot off Zane Avenue. When they approached, the driver stepped on the gas and sped away. For everyone's safety, the police chose not to chase him. Meanwhile, the driver careened through the parking lot, over a lawn, and down into a ditch. They smashed through a chain link fence and tried to escape down Highway 610. At this point, the stolen trailer came loose and fell off. The driver found himself towing something else. He had over 200 feet of fence dragging like a whip behind his car. Traffic cameras captured the wild pursuit and the mayhem that ensued. The fence looks like a giant snake dragging behind his car. Police are wise to stay back, as they don't want to risk getting tangled in this guy's mess.
How does that even happen?
They assume the safest way to stop him is to slow him down with spike strips. But that plan doesn't work too well. Up ahead, you can see the officers on the corner waiting to deploy the spikes. The truck speeds through, and the fence bounces like a whip against the cars. The officer standing there is lucky his SUV took the brunt of the damage. Another camera picks the suspect up shortly before he avoids the strips. Keep your eye on the red car in the far left lane. It's about to be in for a world of hurt. The camera turns as the red car moves, hoping to catch the truck driver as he speeds by. It's at this point that he loses the fence, but then the camera starts shaking violently. When it pans down, we see that the red car has crashed into the camera pole. Officers eventually abandon the chase to help the driver. Unfortunately, the 75-year-old man did not survive the accident.
He was 75. See, bro, you can't even, like, bro, what? Yeah, you know what I realized, bro? It's so easy to yo, bro had nothing to do off of somebody's stupid actions, bro. It's like this. It's just like you going on a date, like I don't know where he was planning on going. Yeah, that's extremely sad, bro. Cause it's like you literally never know, bro. Like you might just be trying to go to the store, bro, and then somebody like is running from the police and just like, what?
We think the fence grabbed the back of his car and whipped it with such force that it wrapped around the light pole. As far as we can tell, police in Brooklyn Park are still looking for the fleeing driver.
They still haven't found him in 2024?
October 27th of 2021. A student pilot and their instructor had just taken off from the Buttonville Municipal Airport in Markham, Ontario, Canada. They thought their plane was in tip-top shape, but
I would never in my life. I don't, bro. These planes always seem to go down, bro. Like, nah, you can't pay me to get one of these motherfuckers. Nah.
Something went wrong mid-flight.
I bet it did.
The plane experienced mechanical failure after switching from its left fuel tank to its right. The duo radioed into air traffic control, who told them to turn around. However, the airport was too far away, and the pilots were quickly losing altitude. They had no choice but to make an emergency landing.
Oh my God.
Thankfully, highways make decent landing strips. You just have to avoid all the cars. Watch as the plane approaches from behind the overhead sign. Our pilot had to time this perfectly, or else they'd risk losing the tail, or worse. Thankfully, he rolls the plane under the sign and as close as possible to
I don't know how he did it.
And eventually comes to a stop with the tail still in frame. According to police, they landed on a 10-lane stretch of Highway 407, which typically takes drivers around Toronto instead of through it. Their plane was a 1970s Pipe Warrior PA-28, which had just undergone a complete maintenance inspection. As far as they knew, their plane had a clean bill of health. Either someone dropped the ball during the inspection, or these two have terrible luck. A similar scene unfolded on December 3rd of 2020, when another small plane had to make an emergency landing in Minnesota. This time, it didn't go as smoothly. Pilot Craig Gifford and his passenger experienced total engine failure above Interstate 35 West in Minneapolis. Unfortunately, he clipped a white SUV when the plane touched down, causing both vehicles to crash. Thankfully, nobody was hurt in either vehicle. In fact, Craig and his passenger climbed into the SUV for warmth while they waited for help to arrive.
That's real.
They were overly apologetic, and the woman driving was just glad everyone was okay.
I mean, I'll be happy too, cause like imagine the insurance you finna get on that, bro. Like imagine the story you could tell too. Like I know I'm finna get some money off of this. Like yeah, get in. I mean. How much money
the Norfolk Southern Gregson Street Overpass in Durham, North Carolina goes by many names. Some call it 11'8" due to its low clearance.
11'8".
Others call it the can opener, as it's famous for making inattentive truck drivers look like fools. So many accidents have occurred at this bridge that it inspired nearby office worker Jürgen Henn to set up cameras and start an official 11'8" website. Since 2008, he has recorded over 100 crashes. One of the best occurred on September 18th of 2017. A yellow Penske truck thought that they were short enough to clear the bridge. Instead, the driver showed us why they call it the can opener. See the big sign that says overheight must turn? It only comes on when the sensor detects an overheight truck approaching. Our driver thought the sign was talking to the guy behind him. This is what 11'8" fans call a clean tear. It's like someone peeling back the lid on a can of tuna. From the side angle, you can tell the driver wasn't even close. It's funny how the white car just keeps going. It's probably not the first time they've seen someone crash into the bridge. That overheight sign was installed in May of 2016 to prevent further crashes. Let's just say it didn't work, as the next truck crashed 2 months later in July. They continued crashing until October of 2019, and the city spent $500.
Come on, bro. That even looked like he wasn't gonna make it. Come on, like that. I can understand the Penske truck, but that
$100,000 to raise the bridge by 8 inches.
That
still didn't help, as 12'4" is still significantly lower than the standard height of 14 to 16 feet, depending on the road.
So they did raise it.
Russia is no stranger to wild caught-on-camera traffic moments. Consider this incident from Perm, a large city on the banks of the Kama River. All was going fine until one of the public trams decided to play bumper cars. It began when the driver of tram route number 8 pulled into one of their many stops. They noticed something was wrong with the brakes, but couldn't fix it on the scene. So, instead of cutting the engine and getting someone to drag the train, they decided to keep going. Unfortunately.
See, they gotta tell me stuff like this. Cause man, if they would have been like, yo, yeah, we just gonna keep on going. Let me out right now. Like, bro, you risking my life.
Fortunately, the next stop
the brakes
was
ain't working.
Downhill. You can only imagine what happened next. Keep your eye on the top of the hill. There is a train coming toward us, but that's not the one we're worried about. The runaway tram rear-ends the other just as someone crosses the street. Thankfully, they avoided catastrophe by the skin of their teeth. That first train careens into a church while the other starts screaming downhill. Nobody has any idea that something is horribly wrong as they continue about their business and don't look while crossing the tracks. The tram gets closer and closer. An SUV nearly avoids a collision. And then, bang! Someone finally
stopping?
They hit with such force that their car bounces and does a 360 while the tram derails and slides off camera. Those who crashed.
Is that how it working in Russia, bro? Like nobody even looked. They just like does it not make no noise?
Treated for various injuries later on. Thankfully, none were life-threatening. As for the tram itself, the conductor was wise enough to let everyone off when they noticed the brake trouble. If only they were smart enough to leave the broken train at the station. Speaking of dumb decisions, this box truck driver in Piastów, Poland thought he could beat the rail crossing signal. Instead, he wound up sandwiched between the crossing arms. Now, he was on a collision course with an oncoming train. The lights start flashing.
You're cooked!
The arms come down.
You're
Literally
cooked.
Everything says, stop, there's a train coming.
Wow.
Either our driver was so oblivious that he missed all the signals, or he thought he could beat the train.
Get the grass.
He ends up stuck between the arms, at which point he should have kept going and broken through.
Oh, God!
He tries going around, only to get his truck stuck in the grass.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Is this me? I don't care what's in the truck or whatever. If it ain't my kids, my wife, my family, bro, I don't give. Blow it up. Hey, crash it to smithereens, bro.
Later,
what is we doing?
The train comes through, and the inevitable happens. The reverse angle shows that it could have been much worse. The train only dragged the truck a few feet, and the impact didn't look that harsh. From what we can gather, our driver walked away without injury. We cannot say the same about his truck, though.
Hey, I'd rather it be the truck than me, bro.
April 12th of 2022 was a windy day in southern Minnesota. Department of Transportation cameras were rolling along I-35 when powerful gusts of wind blew over at least 9 tractor trailers. One of those trailer flips was caught in real time. The driver of an 18-wheeler could feel his cabin swaying and decided it was safest to pull over. You can tell how strong the wind is by the shaking camera and the grass on the side of the highway.
My God.
Cars are extremely cautious as they drive around the truck, with some deciding to pull over behind the 18-wheeler just to see what happens. That's when another gust comes and throws the truck off balance. One tiny tip brought the whole thing tumbling over. That's when the camera spins around and the plot thickens. This was the 4th truck to blow over due to strong winds. Our driver likely pulled over after seeing his buddies up ahead and realizing it was too dangerous to be on the open road. The lead truck clearly felt differently. It looks like they were in the left lane when their cabin flipped. Now they're blocking both lanes, and it looks like the median sinks too much for some of those cars to drive down and around. Thankfully, the wind dies down after another minute or so. It's a good thing too, because all those trucks sitting in traffic would...
You know how pissed I would be if I'm coming from like a vacation or something, and I get stuck in this, y'all. Like, there's been times where I'm coming back from somewhere, and the traffic looks fucking crazy. It looks crazy. I'm like, Lord, please. Like, I'm literally in the seat just like, yo, I'm tired, bro. I've been on the road for hours. Just let me get home, bro. And like, bro, I think one time I spent, I think maybe like 12 hours on the road. That might not be crazy, y'all, but it's crazy when you only live like 2 hours away. And like, you gotta go stop here. Like, I had to like stop so many different places, and I'm not complaining. It was a fun time. But to be 12 hours on the road when you supposed to be coming home that day is literally insane, bro.
Would have wound up on their sides. When we pan back to our original truck, we see that one more met the same fate. According to reports, at least 9 trailers tipped over that day. Luckily, nobody was injured, but many were stuck in traffic for hours while police worked to clear the scene.
I believe it. Because what?
Zibo, China is a prefecture-level city in Shandong province.
I gotta go to China,
home to about 5 million people and a truck driver who grossly underestimated his clearance height. It was August 9th of 2015. Traffic was moving steadily across the Zibo.
I want to go to China.
That's when a dump truck tried to cross and was stopped immediately by the overhead barrier. It looks like clearance on this bridge is only 2.9 meters, or just over 9.5 feet. Cars and small vans can pass without issues. It's the large trucks that have to find an alternate route. As a lone cyclist heads over the bridge, a dump truck appears and crashes into the barrier. It hits with...
Bro, how is this person so calm? I'm just like, alright, let me just slow down. What's going on?
Such force that it bends the metal in half and throws it over the road. The cyclist stops after seeing his life flash before his eyes. He's lucky the metal didn't fall and hit him.
He's not even
According
tripping.
to reports, the truck driver fled the scene, only to be caught after the cyclist reported the incident to police. They arrested the driver, though we're not sure what happened next.
Why would you flee? Like, what?
Sanchez Street is a famous dead-end road in San Francisco, California. You can stand at the edge and see the entire city. Then, when you're done, you can walk down the Sanchez Street steps, which are adorned with murals and other artistic graffiti. Okay. On July 22nd of 2023, street cameras on both ends of the Sanchez steps were rolling when a car full of alleged thieves came screaming down the street. They missed the giant dead-end sign and went for...
How the hell? You know what, they was going that fast. You missed the dead-end sign, you missed the rails? What, nigga, is it... Yeah, Lord forgive me, Barb. They like small people? Like, can they not see, like what? That doesn't make logical sense. How do y'all miss that?
For a joyride over the barricade.
They cooked. Oh my God. Hey, this real, bro. Y'all see how? See, look, this is humanity right here. Y'all see everybody coming to help? Look, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, it's like, help, come in.
Call 911 now. My God, you got hurt, Mark. Here.
This nigga recording, but I mean, at least what else can you do? Like, there's already people, so I guess you can record it. But they, like, nigga, they ain't hesitating to take out the cameras.
Don't flee the scene of a major accident unless they have something to hide. As the story goes, the occupants of this car had just carjacked a man 1 block over on Church Street.
Karma.
They, however, got stuck in traffic while trying to flee and wound up speeding down Sanchez Road.
Wow.
According to a witness, one of the occupants said, "We gotta get out of here. They'll be here soon. We've got 3 minutes." We're assuming "they'll be here soon" refers to the police.
Facts.
Others said they found alcohol and a gun in the vehicle after all 4 suspects fled on foot.
Wow.
It's unclear if any of the suspects have ever been caught.
Oh, shit. They got away with that?
Those living in the northern United States know how slippery the roads can get in the winter. They try...
Bro, y'all, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all this quick story, bro. It was, I don't know, I was in 5th grade, bro. Y'all, listen. So y'all know how when it snows, I don't know where you live, but when it snows, you're supposed to sand the roads. So the news said that it wasn't gonna snow down here, right? It's like it's gonna be way further up north. We're good. We're okay. Yo, cuz so many people passed during that snowstorm, y'all, because they didn't sand the roads. People stuck in traffic. Y'all, it was literally insane. I remember being at school, bro, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna be stuck here for days, weeks, months. Like, I'm in 5th grade, I'm just panicking at this time. Yo, I will never forget that time, bro. When my cousin got checked out, I'm like, oh, she got checked out. Then I heard my name right after. Peak moment. Still shout out to my auntie for that, and shout out to my cousin for that. Like, yo, that's the moment I'll never forget, bro. Like, there's so many. That was the worst, like storm I've ever been a part of, literally.
Try their best to take things easy, but ice has a way of striking when you least expect it.
Nice.
It was Valentine's Day of 2022. Lovers were out and about on Minnesota's icy highway.
Minnesota again?
When one of them lost control and crashed into the concrete barrier. They inadvertently created a chain reaction, leading to what some call the Valentine's Day Massacre Part 2. The massacre began when an SUV lost control after speeding around the bend. They slid across 2 lanes and smashed into the concrete barrier. Their car finally stops after about 100 feet. Unfortunately, they're now parked perpendicular to the road. The semi-truck cruises by, and another car narrowly avoids a crash. That's when the 4th driver in line gets speed wobbles, spins out, and crashes into the SUV. To add in...
They literally creating a line. Y'all see it's like, boom, back to back.
Insult to injury, they also block another traffic lane. A 3rd victim tries to stop, but it's way too late. By then, the other drivers had abandoned their cars and taken refuge on the median. They welcome one more to the party and watch as cars narrowly avoid crashing into the pile. The 4th victim arrives moments later. By now, everyone's become good friends.
It's too cold.
You can see the others pulling the fourth.
I never do this. It's too cold. I already get hit. It's too cold, bro.
Driver onto the median for safety. Driver 5 almost drifts around the pile, but winds up sideswiping the blue SUV and almost blocking the rightmost lane.
Wow.
Thankfully, they were able to move and park their car behind the pile. Police eventually arrived and helped clear the pileup. We don't believe anyone was severely injured, as it looks like they're all just hanging out on the raised median.
Thankfully.
Hopefully, nobody missed their Valentine's dinner reservations. Lakeville, Minnesota is the largest city in Dakota County. It's home to about 70,000 people living...
So that just teaches me, bro, do not drive in Minnesota, bro. They can't drive. Like, if anybody from Minnesota watching this, bro, is like, can y'all not drive? Like, what's happening?
Roughly
like,
20 miles outside of downtown Minneapolis. One of them thought it was a good idea to run from the police after an officer pulled them over on the side of I-35. It was just before 2 p.m. on April 25th of 2023. A highway patrol officer had just stopped a 29-year-old man for what was likely a routine traffic violation. But things escalated when our officer found a handgun and marijuana inside the car. He tried arresting the driver, which led to a brief struggle on the side of the highway. That's when the highway cameras began rolling. They captured the suspect speeding off in his car while police remained hot on his tail. The video opens with our suspect northbound on I-35.
You got a challenger?
He shrugged off a taser before returning to his car. Some of that electricity coursing through his body. The suspect weaves between cars without a care in the world for anybody's safety. By now, he's traveled over 2 miles based on the markings from the highway cameras. A third camera picks him up as he bobs between trucks and exits the highway.
That boy moving.
He burns up the ramp and blows clean through an intersection. You can tell his light was red based on this still frame. He's lucky nobody else was crossing when he arrived.
That boy is moving.
Our fourth and final highway camera captures the driver as he speeds toward a roundabout. He recklessly drives on the wrong side of the road, perhaps trying to take a wide turn and continue east up the other road. Instead, he loses control, skips the curb, and crashes through a fence. But this chase isn't over. Not just yet.
He get out?
The suspect gets out, grabs his bag, and takes off on foot. For a moment, our camera loses him under the bridge. Then, seconds later, a state trooper tackles him like a middle linebacker. The suspect was arrested, though it's unclear what police charged him with. If we had to guess, it had something to do with possession, fleeing, and endangering the public. Thankfully, nobody got hurt when this moron tried to outrun Minnesota State Police.
He almost had him, I ain't gonna cap. He was moving.
The 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami in Japan will forever be remembered as one of the worst natural disasters in human history.
It looked like it.
We've seen hundreds of pictures and videos showing the aftermath of that day. Few of them show it happening in real time, as most people were running in the opposite direction. 3 traffic cameras along the coast in Iwate, Japan captured the tsunami as it came ashore.
They got a Sea of Japan, Yellow Sea, East China Sea. I gotta go. Listen, there's nothing I ever tell y'all, bro. Get out the country, bro. Go to some different places. Especially, like, don't be like closed-minded. Like, go there and learn culture, and don't be disrespectful to. Like, I know a lot of people go out of town, out of the country, and they just disrespect like people's culture because they don't understand it. That's the most, bro, that's the most lamest, weakest thing you can do. Like, go over there, even before going over there, try to, like, study up on their cultures, and find things that you just don't, like, disrespect. Like, I know if you coming from the United States, bruh, they literally expect us to be disrespectful. Please, 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 please change that mindset, bro. Like, just be respectful to people and their culture and their daily lives, bro. Please.
Watch how quickly things go from bad to catastrophic. We begin on what looks like a typical day in Japan.
Is that a road? Is this a road? What is this? Y'all see this? It's like a walkway? What is this? Looks fire. Wherever it is, it looks fire.
Man, the scary part is that most people have no idea what's happening. Then, we pan right to see a massive wall of water racing ashore.
Whoa.
It levels buildings and sweeps cars away like toys. We pan back to see the calm street we left only seconds
before. Is he walking?
Is now
walk back
underwater.
Why is he going?
A boat passes under a bridge.
Did y'all see him still walking to the right like he finna go down, sir? What is you doing?
Continues down the flooded road. At 9.1 on the Richter scale, the March 11th earthquake was the strongest to ever hit Japan, and the third most powerful in the world since the turn of the 20th century. The ensuing tsunami wave grew to 130 feet tall, which...
Yo, I'm already dead at 7 feet? 7 feet? I'm really sleeping with the... I'm cooked. 100? Wait... Yo, 100 feet is insane. I couldn't even imagine that. Like, literally, like, above me, it's insane.
Explains how it washed over this mainland bridge so easily. The whole area is unrecognizable after the water passes. This final clip shows locals escaping the wave in real time. Some drivers narrowly...
You better go! Ooh!
Others have to make three-point turns.
They barely got it. They barely got away.
As you can imagine, many were stuck in their cars when all that water rushed through. Sadly, 18,000 people perished in the water.
Wow.
The tsunami also led to one of the worst nuclear disasters in human history, when water knocked out power to 3 reactors at the Fukushima power plant.
What?
Sinkholes are all too common in China. The wet, humid weather, paired with subpar road conditions, means that they can open anywhere at any time. This Chinese scooter driver learned that lesson the hard way on August 20th of 2017. What began as a casual ride ended with him several feet underground. You can already see the ground beginning to dip. Then it collapses, nearly taking the entire...
Y'all ever seen a roof cave in? It looked like a roof cave in. Oh my god, that's scary-ish.
Crosswalk with it. Moments later, a man arrives on his scooter and tries his best to stop. Instead, he falls in like a cartoon. Police arrive later and tape off the sinkhole. The grainy footage makes it hard to tell if the scooter driver we see here is the same man who fell into the hole. Sometimes, officials can catch these sinkholes before they open, like this hero cop in Hangzhou, China, a not-so-small city of 12 million people in Zhejiang province. Our traffic cop notices the sinkhole moments before several cars enter the intersection. He'll never stop them all, so he frantically gathers cones to reroute traffic. Somehow, he blocks off the area before the sinkhole collapses. The sheer size of it comes into perspective when the camera pulls back. Imagine being stuck in that traffic jam, not knowing that the road had collapsed up ahead.
Cop, man.
Someone you know and love is probably a bad driver. That someone may...
A lot of people I know are terrible drivers. That's why I'm the main driver of everybody that I love. But I love y'all. And listen. Don't talk about, like, if y'all watch the video, don't talk about the times where we almost died with me driving. Listen. That's very true. But of course it's gonna happen if I drive way more. Like let's not make it seem like I just be driving crazy. Like don't do that.
If it is, just know that you can't be as bad as this 63-year-old woman from Argentina. It was June 7th of 2023.
Old people should not be able to drive. I'm sorry.
Grandma had just arrived for her driving test. All she had to do was drive this blue SUV around the course without crashing. Apparently, that was asking too much. Things seem to be going okay as she turns around the first bend. But then, she cuts it a little too hard and jumps the curb. Now, she's panicking. Things are going horrible. She goes too quickly over the speed bump and drives over the curb on the left side. Let's see if she at least stops at the stop sign. Nope. She jumps another curb, nearly putting her whole car on the grass.
I know she's extra panicking.
Instead of hitting the brake, she guns it and smashes into a light pole. The SUV...
You can literally see, like, her just panicking even more. It's like, boom, oh my god. Oh, like she started panicking.
And almost rolls onto its roof. According to reports, Grandma was taken to the hospital and treated for minor injuries. It doesn't sound like there was anybody else inside the car. An instructor would have likely hit their brakes and stopped the test long before she flipped.
So how is she... Wait, so you could just randomly do this? Like, how is she in here then?
The SUV. It's unclear what happened next, but we can safely assume she did not get her license.
Yeah, she's good.
The Moscow Ring Road is a 68-mile highway encircling Russia's capital city. These roads are called beltlines, beltways, or loops in the United States. Some famous examples from around the world include the London M25.
Whoa. Y'all know what road, bro? Y'all ever played that game? Oh my god. it's a game where you build like the city, bro. It's like Skyline Cities, bro. I think that's what it's called. It literally looked just like this. I literally got a flashback. What the? Yo!
And the Autostrada A90 around Rome. These highways are always hectic, as traffic constantly flows in and out of these major cities. That's why a minor accident can have massive consequences, like this multi-car pileup on the Moscow Ring Road in 2022. Watch how a single loose tire backs the whole thing up for miles. We open on a lonely tire rolling across multiple lanes. It forces an SUV to stop in the middle of the road. A taxi pulls up behind them, and then, bam! Another taxi driver comes out of nowhere and rear-ends his fellow cabbie. The offending cab driver gets out and stretches his arm in pain. That's when both men turn to see 3 giant trucks careening toward them. They run in opposite directions as a mass of twisted metal crashes into their cabs and pushes them a few dozen feet. The one cabbie barely outruns the pileup. It's unclear how the dump truck and the box...
Thank God he got climate assist, bro. He had to jump over, bro. Oh my God.
Truck flipped over. We're guessing they tried to stop, lost control...
Ooh, y'all better get out the road too, bro.
Somehow, a man climbs out from his windshield while several others run for safety. Moments later, everyone gathers back to help someone out of the flipped box truck. By some miracle, nobody was seriously injured during the accident. They all walked away, wondering how a single loose tire could have caused all this.
Nah, that's scary, bro.
July of 2013 was a wet month in Yan'an, China. Torrential rain impacted nearly 1 million people, with several landslides and flash floods washing away their cars and property.
How?
4 more locals were added to the tally on July 13th. They were out for a drive on one of China's many mountains.
This is fire. I would love to travel on here. Like, what the... Like, yo, this... Never mind. Never mind. I drove on a road like this. It's fun in the beginning, but after a while, the more you just keep going like this, it gets annoying. I ain't gonna lie. So never mind. Maybe like 3-4 loops, but it looked like it go back like it's crazy. Nah,
I'm to this road.
I'm good.
Then, without warning, the mountain tried to eat their car. The relentless mudslide covers their vehicle in seconds. It keeps piling on as our traffic camera starts shaking. You might think a major earthquake was happening if you didn't know any better. 2 men scramble from the car and run to safety when the landslide is over. A third follows them, but takes a nasty spill before joining his friends. Once all 3 are satisfied that the danger is past, they return to the car and rescue their 4th passenger. Thankfully, all 4 made it out okay, but we can't say the same for their car. Hopefully, the driver had decent...
I left y'all, man. That's kind of crazy.
If you enjoyed this video and want to see another
video, go ahead, subscribe to my boy Underworld. Hit the original video, gonna be down in the description. Man, one thing this taught me, bro, you literally never know. It could be like the most craziest time. You having fun and just somebody stupid or anything just happened. Like, it could be bad weather, bad anything. But so, with that said, I love y'all. Stay safe and make sure you do your best to stay safe, because that's all you can literally do. Literally, just make sure that you have everything you need. Keep your seatbelt on. Love y'all, and I'll see you in the next video. We out.